So in this video we are going to see about the digital signal processes. First of all, we'll just see why we go to digital and what is the drawback of analog signal processing. So analog signal processing is achieved by the analog components such as inductors, capacitors and the resistors. So the inherent tolerances associated with these components, temperature, voltage changes and mechanical vibrations can dramatically affect the effectiveness of the analog circuitry. So why we go digital? So the digital signal processing are more powerful, than sometimes it's extremely difficult if it's not impossible for analog signal processing to achieve similar performance. Example, we can call it as FIR filter with linear phase and adaptive filters. So with DSP it is easy to change applications, correct applications and update applications. Additionally, it reduces the development time and the cost involved in it and the power consumption and the noise susceptibility, chip count. Why not go digital? High frequency signals cannot be processed digitally because of two reasons. So we need a fast analog to digital converters to convert high frequency signals. So it's not possible practically. So it won't work fast enough. So the application can be too complex to be performed in real time. Yes, so the real time it's not applicable to convert high frequency signals to a digital. So coming to the hot topic like microprocessor. So the microprocessor is a silicon chip that implements the complete central processing unit of a computer. The part of the computer that executes the instruction is called central processing unit. So application wise it's used in two areas. Remember, one is embedded system applications and other one is computer system applications. So the microprocessor computer systems are general purpose microprocessors and the embedded applications are microcontrollers. The signal processing applications are digital signal processors. The general purpose microprocessors are computer systems. Manufacturers and models, you make Intel Pentium, Digital Alpha chip, Motorola PowerPC, LSI Logic Spark family Sun. Wide address bus allowing the management of large memory spaces. Integrated hardware memory management unit, wide data formats, high cost, high power consumption. So all these are typical features. Embedded systems microcontrollers. So where we saw these microcontrollers is in television set, wristwatches, home appliances, ABS brakes, ABS engines, anti-lock braking system, USB controller, computer printer and a photocopy machine. So these are all some microchip and Intel family for microcontroller. The typical features are memory and peripherals integrated on the chip. Yes, all are integrated on the single chip. Narrow address bus allowing only limited amounts of memory on the narrow data formats, 8 bits or 16 bits typical. So no processor, limited ALU, low cost, small silicon area occupied in the board and the low power consumption. Application wise we can go with control systems, telecommunication systems, flight control systems in aerospace applications, audio video recording and playback, high performance hard disk drives, modems, noise cancellation systems. These are all where we apply signal processing techniques or process. So we have Texas Instruments TMS 320C 6000 and Motorola devices, analog devices are some of the microcontrollers. So we have two classifications, fixed point processor and a floating point processor. The architecture optimized for intensive computation, narrow address bus supporting only limited amounts of memory. So this low power consumption, low cost, specialized addressing modes to efficiently support signal processing operations. So all those things comes under the features. So why we need DSP process? It's a good question, right? Yeah. So it's a cost saving, smaller size, low power consumption and the processing of many high frequency signals in real time. Yeah, a single processor can do all those performances here. So the hardware versus microcode multiplication. DSP processors are optimized to perform multiplication and addition operations. Multiplication and addition are done in hardware and in one cycle. Example, 4-bit multiply. Yeah, we can done this like this. 4-bit multiply 1011 into 110. So cycle 1, cycle 2, cycle 3 and cycle 4. At last cycle 5 combines all those 4 cycles. Where DSP is found, consumer products, it's like DVD, MP3 and HD TV. Communication wise, radio, cell phones. And the medical wise, pacemakers, magnetic resonance imaging, spectrometers. The industrial wise, it's a motor controllers, environmental controls. So the DSP is used in wide variety of applications and it's hard to find a good definition that is general. Yeah, we have a sonar, telephone, radar, multimedia, control, digital. So these are all some of the wide applications of the digital signal processing. So technologies are general purpose process. We can call it as GPP, Intel IPX400 and the FPGA, field programmable gate array, Xilinx and Altera make. And the application specific integrated ASIC circuits and the DSP process. The advantages are reprogrammable, whatever as it is software configurable, it is a reprogrammable with the documented tools. Cost effective in low volume applications and the desirable speed for evolution of design trade-off. Motivation for DSP architecture. Most features have fast multipliers, multiple execution units, streamlines IO, special instruction sets. These are all some of the motivations behind DSP architecture. So the DSP algorithm have digital FIR filter, so it have addition, multiplication, delay and array handling units. So the most common share features are they use a lot of max. The fast multiplier is case study, the dot product. Requires fast multiplication and addition of product terms. On the Mac, multiply accumulate. The faster multiplier content, IAR filtering, Fourier transform, convolution, correlation. All DSP provides single cycle Mac. The multiple execution unit, high computation complexity requires multiple unit and the parallel execution have Mac, ALU and shifter. Texas Instruments, all the blocks are multifunction and can add integers. Efficient memory access, performing a Mac every cycle would require instruction, retained accumulated value, data. Efficient memory access content. DSP data formats. Most DSPs use fixed point max, which is a form of integer max. For application which require high precision, floating point max is used. DSP process uses the shortest data word width. 16-bit fixed point is common and 24 or 32-bit hardware is for better accuracy. So zero overhead looping. So all these are some features of the digital signal processors. Streamlined IO, built-in types of input output units are provided on the DSP chip. We have a direct memory access to provide data on chip memory without processor intervention. Special instruction set. So the conventional DSP processors are low cost or good performance and it's operated at 20 to 50 MHz. And the target applications include disk drives, answering machines. Mid-range higher performance, so increased speed, extra hardware such as shifter or instruction cache, deeper pipeline. Example include Freescale TI-TMS 320C5. So the enhanced conventional DSP processor maintain cost performance trade-off for more intensive applications, provide multiple Macs with ALU and shifter with parallel execution, extended instruction sets, all those things. So it's a multi-issue architecture. So the types of multi-issue architecture are two types, superscalar and very long instruction word. So the state of DSPs they are diversified, they are kept key part in design to increasing speed, decreasing energy consumption, decrease memory usage. So these are all some of the main advantages of using DSP process. There is a need for more efficient compilers because assembly is too time intensive. The system architecture includes at least one CPU and at least one peripheral. Every time of architecture requires special hardware feature from the CPU. At least one bus system connecting to the CPU to the peripherals. So John von Neumann, development of the first microprocessor and first computer architecture that allowed the computer to be programmed by codes residing in memory. The von Neumann architecture is the most widely used today and is implemented by the majority of processors on the market. For this architecture, all the elements of the computers are interconnected by a single system of 3 buses. the data bus, address bus, and the control bus. It holds memory, holds the instructions. Central processing unit fetches instructions from memory, and the CPU registers helps out program counter, instruction register, general purpose registers. So this is the von Neumann architecture, the CPU, and it has 3 bus: address bus, data bus, and control bus. Data and control bus is bidirectional, and address bus is unidirectional. We have a single clock here, and we have a memory program data, and it's a peripheral which connected to the IOs and the outside world. The program and memory program or data is fed on the memory. The main characteristics of the von Neumann architecture is that only one bus system. The same bus carries all the information exchanged between the CPU and the peripherals. The Harvard architecture is a computer architecture with physically separate storage and signal pathways for instructions and data. The term originated from the Harvard Mark relay-based computer, which stored instructions on punched tape and data in electromechanical counters. These early machines had limited data storage entirely contained within the data processing unit. So these are some points of the Harvard architecture. In some systems, instructions can be stored in read-only memory, that is ROM, while data memory generally requires read-write memory. Instruction memory is often wider than data memory. Harvard architecture: data memory, address, data, PC. The program memory have address and data. The Harvard architecture, as the name implies, the Harvard University. The program bus system, it is used exclusively to transport instruction codes from the program memory to the CPU during the fetch cycle. And the data bus system is used exclusively to transport data from CPU to the memory and peripherals. So comparing the von Neumann versus Harvard, Harvard can't use self-modifying code. Harvard allows two simultaneous memory fetches. Most DSPs use Harvard architecture for streaming data, greater memory bandwidth, more predictable bandwidth. Pros and cons of each architecture. Since it possesses two independent bus systems, the Harvard architecture is capable of simultaneously reading an instruction code and reading or writing a memory or peripheral as a part of the execution of the previous instruction. It has a speed advantage over the von Neumann architecture. The Harvard architecture is also safer, since it's not possible for the CPU to mistakenly write codes into the program memory and therefore corrupt the code while it is executing. However, the Harvard architecture is flexible. It needs two independent memory banks, one for program and another one is for data, whereas von Neumann have only one memory bank. The von Neumann architecture data memory interchangeable, and it will lead to a better usage of the memory resources. So coming to the next topic, RISC versus complex instruction set computer and the reduced instruction set computer. The former one has many addressing modes and many operations, and the later one has to load, store, and pipelineable instructions. So the parameters to consider when a DSP processor, very important: arithmetic format, extended floating format, extended arithmetic, number of hardware multipliers, cache memory, program data cache memory, and L2 cache memory. IO bandwidth, serial ports, number or speed, DMA channel, multiprocessor support, supply voltage, power management, on-chip timers, cost, package, JTAG support, external memory interface controller. So these are all Texas Instruments TMS320 family. Architectural overview and memory organization continued. So these are all some of the example and application of a processor. How it will be, how the registers and how the memory organization are fixed. So we saw about the TMS320C25 DSP processor as a final application. Yeah. Thanks for watching.